Hi YouTube. So we're going to start this video off talking about wanting to lease an apartment, wanting to rent a home, or whatever you're wanting to rent, just a place to lay your head, no matter what the cost is. So I'm going to get started by, and it's leasing 101 or renting 101. I'm going to get started by already kind of having a concept of to what you're wanting, how much, the square footage, and the location. How much you want to spend, the square footage, and the location. You always want to make sure you have these three things because you can be paying, and I've seen this, and it's just an example, in my field where you're paying 1,800 a month for rent, or 15 or 16 or 17 in that price range. But the area is not that great. The area is full of robberies. It's a lot of police all the time. So you want to make sure that you are looking at your areas. You want to make sure that you are looking at your square footage, and you want to make sure that you are looking at what you're wanting to spend on a rental, or whatever that may be. So you want to make sure you're looking at those key factors. And this is something that I have learned being in the business and just doing research, and actually currently being in real estate right now. So you always want to make sure first, I always say first, location, location, location. I learned that from one of my professors. Location, 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 location. You always want to make sure you have the right location. So me being in the business, I always get, hey, Miss Candace, or some people say Candace, however you want to say it, it doesn't matter, you have to put a miss on it. I'm looking for something closer to my job. Okay, well, how far is your job? Is it pretty close? It's about 15 minutes away, but now where I'm currently living, it's about an hour away or 45 minutes away. So you always want to make sure that can kind of actually sell whatever you have that's open. That'll actually sell it because they want to be 15 minutes away. The property you're working at or the rental home that you're trying to lease is 15 minutes away and or less. So that would be a good way to kind of sell what you're renting. Also, too, we want to talk about the price range. You always want to kind of sit down wherever you may be at. It can be at a kitchen table. It can be in your car. And I'm only telling you off of experience from me and how I moved. So you want to make sure that you're looking at the price that you're trying to spend. You want to make sure that you know what your price range bracket is. So this is what I make a month. This is my bills for the month. This is what I'm trying to spend on average of renting. So you want to have all of this combined. You want to make sure that you combine all of this. Because if not, you're going to find yourself in a sticky situation. And I've seen it to where something can happen, which is like an eviction or something like that, or where you have to break a lease because you can't, you can't afford it going in. So, mind you, things can happen. Situations happen. I'm only telling you also off of experience. Things can happen in these situations to where you have the job. You got it made in the shade. You got everything you need. But then a year down the line, just like the pandemic happened, months down the line, you lose the job or they cut your hours. I've seen that happen. When you come in, you're approved, you qualify, you make the 3 times the rent, you make the money, but then a year later or months later, then you have the issue of you've lost your job, they've cut your hours. Things just transpire within your life that we just can't control. I've had it happen to me. I've had it happen to family members. I currently have it happening to family members or just friends or whomever. Just people I don't know that just come up to me and just want to talk or vent. So you want to make sure that you're looking for the price. You're looking for the location. You also want the square footage. Depending on how big your family is, You just want to see what type of square footage that you are looking for. You have some people who are, well, it's just them. I'm one person. It's just me. I want a small bedroom, whatever the smallest you have. Or I want the next one to it, which would be the middle size, which may be 7 something square feet. The next one to that, maybe 8 square feet, which is the third one. So it just depends on the property and what that property is offering at that time. Okay, so to all my viewers, I am going to put my email in the description, in the comment box, or description box, and I am going to also start putting like different links and stuff like that, with different resources if anybody is looking for different resources and different things like that. So the first thing we're going to start is location. Okay, location. Some people don't care about location. Some people do care about location. Some people don't care about location. Some people do care about location. I always speak on location only because I speak on it because it's a very touchy subject, for one, and you want to make sure, especially if you have kids, or if you just have a big family, you want to make sure that you're in a somewhat of a safe area, going into whatever place you're renting. You want to make sure you're looking at what area are you going in, what's the crime like. I would always ask these questions, and I've had people ask, like I said, everything I'm telling you is just not something I'm making up in my head. I've actually had these conversations with a lot of my applicants and residents. What's the crime in the area? Is it quiet in the area? Do you know about the crime in the area? Sometimes if you're leasing, or you're the tenant, the leasing agent, sometimes you don't know the area, so you have to say, hey, well, what I'll do is let me, just put a pin in that. Let me look up the area and just look up different things, and then I can send you some information back on it. You can move it like that. So to do that, I would just maybe kind of go that route if you really don't know. Because I'm going to be honest, sometimes I don't know the different areas, so I don't know what the crime is, or how quiet it is, or how quickly police respond to different things in certain areas. I don't really know. Sometimes I don't know, so I have to research it. So I just do my research so I can give that information out and just know for next time. So we just want to make sure that we're looking at the location, especially if you have a family. Even if you're by yourself, you always want to make sure that you're looking at the location, even when by self, only because you want to make sure that you're okay, especially if you're coming from work at different times. If you're going to work at certain types of times, you want to make sure that, it's a pretty good area, and that you can, you just feel a little sense of safety. So, and that's anywhere you live. You always want to have a sense of safety wherever you live. Next is going to be price. So price-wise, we want to make sure that with price-wise, you have the price range that you're willing to start at, and that you're not going to go over, and you're not budging on. Unless it's just something where you're just like, I like it, so you know what, I'm going to get it. But you want to make sure that you know and talk about with your partner or with yourself, because I've done it with myself all the time. What can I afford? What am I going to be able to afford? You want to make sure that you know what you can afford, what you cannot afford. I'm telling you, you guys, I'm not just talking from the top of my head. I experience this every day almost. What you can afford. If you see an apartment or rent home, and it's $1,500, but you have all of this you have to pay for, or this you have to pay for. The thing is, and I'm just being honest, you're gonna either have to cut something, or you won't be able to make the rent. So you always want to be able to make sure that you are knowing what you're going in with, of this is what I'm coming in with, and this is what I'm not budgeting on. So you want to always stick to your guns and stay in between that factor. Then you may find properties that are look to lease, which are amazing. You look and lease. The only thing is you make sure you look first before you lease it, because you may look and lease. Once you sign that contract, that's it. If you say, look, I don't want it anymore, you're in a binded document. Binded means your name, your signature is on the dotted line, people. So make sure that you look before you lease. I always stress this because I have had, I'm telling you, people have come to me, and I've had it happen where they lease a unit and have not seen it, and when they see it, they don't want it. But they've already leased it. You've signed it, so you're stuck unless you buy out of your lease, which is another option, but then that's a lot of money because you still have to make up for the months that you signed for until that unit is leased, which is like a termination fee. Okay? So you always want to make sure that you look before you lease it. The square footage, I talk about square footage because you can go into it, you can look it, you can lease it, and the square footage is too small. So you always want to make sure you look at the square footage before you go in and make any decisions. I always tell anybody that I'm leasing to or that is looking for something, you always want to go in with your leasing agent, ask them, send them an email. I think leasing agents respond faster to emails. Send them an email. It's a quick, and that's a tip. I would always email because email, you rather have it in email because that's your proof. Email them, say, hey, I would like to come and get the dimensions of the unit so I can know how my furniture is going to look in this unit. So you always want to make sure that you're doing that as well. So like I said, this one here tonight, I don't really want to do a lot speaking on it because I have so much to talk about and I want to be able to assist and help people. If it's viewers who see it and you know somebody that's in a bind and they're in the state of Texas, they can always shoot me an email if they have a question about anything, any resources, anybody helping pay with rent, if you need help with rent or different things like that. I am here, and if I have the resources, I am willing to share my resources and what I have. I'm willing to share, and I'm willing to give it up and share it with you guys out there in, my viewers or just, in my YouTube viewers. So price, square footage, location. Location is number one, your price, and make sure your square footage is good. Make sure you're looking before you lease. Look before, because all of this is a part before you put down that application fee or that deposit. Okay? You want to make sure you do my 3 steps. My 3 steps are location, find your location. Okay? Location matters because it may be work, it may be kids, it may be school, no matter what it is that you need to be kind of close to. You want to make sure you're looking at that location, viewers. Then you want to make sure that you're looking at your price range. You have to make sure you have that price range because now, and I'm telling you, now the prices have shot up. They're not going down for a while. They're going up, okay? Especially when you're renting. So you want to make sure you have that. I'm a stickler for square footage because you may get in it. Your name is on that dotted line, and I'm just being honest with you, viewers. It may not be enough space, and you've already signed your name on a dotted line. You're binded to that lease agreement. That means you owe them for whatever months you signed for, okay? So you want to make sure that you're looking at those 3. Location, 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 location. Amount of rent, amount you have to spend, what's your limit, what you're not budging, what you're not going over, your square footage. You want to make sure that it's enough room for whatever you have. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, with me, I'm a closet fanatic. I don't need a kitchen. I can use a hot plate. But I look at, for me, and everybody's different. For me, I look at closet. I have to have a closet. I cannot live without closet space. So And square footage may not be important to everybody, and that's okay. That is okay. But I'm only going off of what I see, what I deal with every day, and what people always asking, what's the square footage? That's usually like the second question. What's the square footage? What's the square footage? What's the location? Or what's the location of the apartment that you're trying to rent? Or what's the location of the home you're trying to rent, or whatever you're trying to rent. So tonight, I just wanted to kind of get my feet wet with this so we can get this ball rolling. And tomorrow we will start with application fees and deposits. I'll kind of touch a little bit on that. But you just want to make sure that you have all of the first items in a row, and then you want to go to the application fee and the deposit. So I will discuss that on tomorrow. Hopefully I'm not too tired, you guys, when I get off from work, because sometimes I have long days. So it was nice. I had a good night. I was excited about getting home and talking to you guys on YouTube about this. Like, you guys, when I'm telling you, I was so excited about talking to you guys about this, like really excited. Like, I couldn't wait to get home and wind down and get ready to talk to you guys. It is a little bit long. It's 16 minutes, so I am going to cut it short here. But just remember, I am going to put my email if you have any questions about location, if you have questions about prices and the price range, I can help you with that. If you have questions about square footage, is this good enough? I have this size family. Do you think this will be good? These are the dimensions of an apartment I'm trying to look at of the room, but I have a king size bed. So I can assist with that. So I am going to put my email if you have questions, viewers, and I am going to start dropping different links or websites to different resources that you guys can look into if you are trying to get any type of assistance with anything, okay? So good night, guys. And what does Candyland always say? Bye.